I'm with George Phillips of Morgan Lewis. He's the Director of Development and Technology. George and I have known each other for, I hate to say this, over 10 years, George. And it wasn't Director of Development and Technology when we first met. It was eDiscovery. And your career has really been this marvelous, wonderful jungle gym. Can you just tell us a little bit about that progression? And then we're going to dig into why we're here at Legalweek 26.
Been in eDiscovery since 2001 and, came in doing forensics and doing data analyst work and engineering. And when we met about 16, 17 years ago, I stepped into the law firm side of things, taking the leap from the vendor side. And
Well, you're on the consulting side, not just a vendor. I mean, it was
Right.
really smart MBA consulting that you were schooled in, which I think really helps you in the progression that we've seen over the last 10 plus years. I like to say 10 plus. You don't have to say 16, George.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. It's just been a fabulous ride. I mean, I have been in my niche and in my place that I've, the right fit for now going on 17 years. It's been fantastic.
Take me back just 18 months. What was your team spending time on 18 months ago that you go like, that was quaint, that was cute?
I'm really lucky because Morgan Lewis has had an atmosphere and an environment and a belief of being really curious and investigating things and researching things. And for us, 18 months ago, we were working on our second AI model. We were learning how to train it. We were learning how to load data into vector databases and working on how to put stuff in and take stuff out and control the models and the brains that we were creating. And I think that we were in such a good place for what this explosion has become in the last 18 months that we've been able to stay on top of the wave and really utilize all the advancements that are happening pretty much every couple weeks. Something new is coming out and we haven't been drowning by it at all.
The team that you were working with 18 months ago, how big was that team? How big is it today? And what's the difference in who's on the team? And what I'm doing here, I'm building a case. If there's a case to be built for teams are expanding, not contracting. Like if you're in this space,
Like,
you're in the right place at the right time.
the teams that we had 18 months ago are still largely the same teams that we have now. And our operations folks, our software development folks, and people doing R&D are, anywhere around 20 different individuals. That number has stayed the same, but what has changed is that they've had to evolve into reskilling and keeping up with what those changes have happened in the last 18 months.
Is anybody reluctant to embrace and level up?
Thankfully, not on my team. Everyone is hungry for this. This is exciting stuff.
Yeah.
This is the speed and the rate in which everything is moving right now. Everyone is really pumped up about.
So this is not a Morgan Lewis question because I don't want to put you in a silo. So this is an industry question. Like, let's just take the AmLaw 50. Last year we heard a lot of people talk about upskilling, the challenge of adoption and bringing teams along and selling AI to them. I don't experience that this year at all. I think you're either on the team or you're really, really getting left behind. What's your experience in terms of the attitude shift, the aptitude and attitude shift that you've seen in the AmLaw 50 of all those people elsewhere and within Morgan Lewis?
We had the cold plunge effect where everyone was sort of frozen in place. They didn't know exactly what they needed to know and how to get there and how to do it. And, 12 months later, we've all identified our roles. We've identified the breakdown in the different armor points and where we had to bolster what we know, right, and focus on these different areas. And I think that now we're at that place. But definitely a year ago, we were all diving in the frozen river together. And I expect that it'll just continue to become more calm.
Well, one of the nice things about Morgan Lewis is they have that towel warmer, in all of the offices. The towels are fluffy and they're warm.
Yes.
It's a matter of that cold plunge. You've got a, towel and a robe.
Yes. And we were lucky to dive in earlier than most people. So we're in a good place now.
So that's the inside story. Tell me the outside story. What's the ask from clients then versus what they're asking for today? How have clients come along in the last 12 to 18 months?
All of Morgan Lewis's clients are in different parts of their AI journey, and we really want to meet them where they're at.
Mhm.
We realize they have different needs, and they're asking us about how do we help them creating different use cases, implementing and integrating these technologies, and we need to kind of thoughtfully approach how we counsel them through it.
One of the things I like so much about doing live from Legal Week with so many people simultaneously is being able to take a look back. When you say that, it reminds me of eDiscovery 2004, 6, 8, 10, when clients would ask outside counsel, can you help? And they really needed that help. And it was outside counsel you went to. Here we are again, where corporate counsel is saying, can you help me? Can you think this through? That was lost for a little while. The going to outside counsel got lost in the middle. Can you frame that up for me a little bit? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think from the technology side, all of the tech sort of became commoditized and everyone understood how TAR worked. And there wasn't a real need to really provide new counsel on how to use this, how to create a framework, how to create a defensible workflow, because everybody sort of understood it. It became normalized.
That's what it was.
And, we're in that stage now where it is still the Wild West, and there are a lot of moving parts, and the technology is shifting every week. And the real value is, what kind of use cases can you help me to use this technology, and how can we do it defensively?
I think the AMLA 10, 25, 50, AMLA 100, I think that many of your, 20% of your clients are on the bleeding edge, cutting edge of insourcing this and building it and buying it themselves. They are advocates, and they are avid developers of tools and technology and use cases. And so they must be great partners in that regard, I assume, right? Or are they impossible in that it's really hard to work with them because the demands exceed a reasonableness? So is it reasonable? It's like, wow, this is the best collaboration we've ever had, or is it unreasonable expectations?
The clients that are willing to dive into this are also curious like us. And so they have some risk tolerance to really explore how this can be brought in-house and whether or not it's going to benefit them. I think that the important thing to the clients that have that curiosity is that they're really doing their due diligence, and we're helping them do their due diligence to understand whether or not that is something that is going to be helpful and is actually going to solve the problem. We can help better curate and identify the actual problem.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants to throw AI Band-Aid on every boo-boo, and it may not be the perfect fit.
Yeah, no, you're making me think that we're back to where I was trying to get to this, and I was thinking out loud is it was a two-way street, then it wasn't a two-way street, and now it's a two-way street again.
Yeah.
The knowledge transfer, the experience, the collaboration, it's a two-way street. And I think we had lost that maybe around 2012, 2014. ALSPs came in and it became a race to the bottom, right? Because it was commoditized. There's no commodity here right now.
None.
If everyone can build everything and everyone can build anything, I think the question is, what do we build, and what do we build safely and smartly?
Right. Yep. Couldn't agree more.
Can you give me a specific example of something that you and your team are delivering now that you weren't delivering 6 months ago and that you're going to be delivering in the future? I think that's really interesting for the audience to hear.
For us and for me, focused on innovation and development, we can deliver full functioning applications that integrate multiple types of AI agents, different modalities, not just for our clients, but we're addressing the needs of our different practice groups internally as well. And we can readily deploy them from idea to full scale application, within a few months instead of a couple of years. Our cycle now has, it's exponentially increased in the amount of time we can deliver these solutions.
Do you want to give a shout out to any particular platform, any particular tech? You don't have to, but if you want to, it's like, love to hear it. I think the audience would love to hear it. Everybody loves a name. Like, are you a Mercedes guy, an Audi guy, or a BMW guy? You don't have to, but if you've got a car that you love,
We're building these from scratch. So, I would be shouting out .NET and, Java.
MLB, MLB,
Yeah.
MLB.net.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let me switch to one of my favorite topics right now, which is the AI dividend. What is the AI dividend? How are you using it? Is it just, is the AI dividend for you just time savings and cost savings? Is it capability and capacity? Is it no? The AI dividend for us is talent retention because people are so excited about working here. What's the AI dividend for you and your team right now?
Well, you had mentioned that the dividend could mean a little more, a little best, a little better, a little faster every day. And, for us in our practice, we've had a mindset of incremental innovation over the years instead of, you know, we identified pretty early that innovation isn't a home run, but we will focus on moving the needle towards continuous improvement. And I think that sort of methodology and that mindset has allowed us to demonstrate to our clients that we're constantly moving the ball down the field. It doesn't matter what the tech is. We take the appropriate bites, small bites of the apple, and we're getting through things and keep moving forward. It's really helped us to not stagger, but to continuously come up with things and innovate and create solutions. I think that's our success.
I'm struggling with the dividend because little by little, every single day, I can do a little bit more, a little bit better, and a little bit faster. And so all of a sudden, my dividends exceed my capacity to even hold them. And I'm like, how do I distribute these dividends? How do I distribute this time, right? Which is accumulating. Like I find myself working because I'm reinvesting the dividend, if you will. So it's compounding. I'm like, I spend more and more and more time working because I can. And it's really, really interesting. And it continues to be interesting. But I'm about to hit a point where there's just no more room. Like 8 o'clock at night is a cutoff. You can't, at some point. So are you struggling with that at all? Do you find that like you can do so much and you love doing so much? What do you do with this dividend? How do you distribute it? Or have you not hit that yet?
I've hit that. It's very easy.
You should see the smile on George's face right now. He's like, okay, let me tell you the truth. I've really hit a dividend.
It's very easy to go into the weekend researching and experimenting and finding new ways to do things, especially with all of the ways out there now for us to accomplish what we need to normally accomplish. I have to delegate, and it's very hard to give, pieces of what it is I'm trying to accomplish to more people. And that's the only way I can do it. Otherwise I will just work, and I enjoy it and I love it. And it fuels me. So it doesn't feel like working, but I'm sure my family absolutely does not agree with that.
So let's do one last question, which is, what are you going to do with some of your time? How do you recharge? And how do you recharge? So as advice for others, right? You've got a 20 plus year career. Here you are, you're managing a team, you're managing innovation, you're managing next. I'm a vacation guy. I like 5 and 7 and 10 days at a time. So I do chunk it up a little bit. What's your?
I'm the worst person to ask this question. I do need the vacation, and it's on my 26 list of things to do.
So the best advice I was given, unbelievably, I'm with my dentist 2 years ago. And he said, so what are your plans for vacations this year? I said, I don't know. My wife and I will figure this out. He goes, that's not an answer. I said, let me tell you. It goes to be, let me tell you, young man, my dentist a little older than me. He goes, let me tell you what my wife and I do. We plan 2 vacations. We put the money down. We'd have no choice. We've got to go. If you don't do it, you'll never, if you don't put it down on paper and you don't make the commitment, you won't get there. Yeah. So for those of you that are listening, it's changed my life because I now have vacations. I'm going to Portugal the end of August, early September. Money's down, tickets bought. And so we have something to look forward to. And it's really changed my mindset of no matter how hard I'm working right now, I know what I'm looking forward to at the end of August and the beginning of September.
Great advice.
Where do you want to go? You don't have to do it, but I just go like, if you and your wife were going to go anywhere, where would you love to go? And then I'm going to check back in with you.
Italy.
Okay. Fall?
Don't know.
If you had a magic wand?
Fall.
fall. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be checking back with George Phillips this fall to see if indeed he and his wife are sending us pictures on LinkedIn from Italy. George, thanks for taking some time here at
Thank
Italy
you.
Turn Six.
I really appreciate it.
Great to see you. If you enjoyed this show, be sure to give us a like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your shows. And if you want to take your career from now to next, never eat alone.